Welcome to the complete Boomi Bootcamp 2026, Episode 2, Process Building. Our agenda for today is Process Canvas, Steps Palette, Connect Execute Logic, Build a Process, Test a Process, and Next Steps. In the last episode, we already created a process. Every time a process is created, the process canvas opens up and a start step is created. That is mandatory. Every process has a start step. We renamed the process and I showed you where the process is stored in the Components Explorer. Also, I selected some steps from the Steps palette and randomly connected them with each other. Today, I would like to have a closer look at the process canvas, the different steps, respectively the different steps types, and build a working process with you. In order to show you that the process actually works, we will also test the process. So let's get started. First, let's close the process. Just click on the X to do so. There are at least 3 ways to create a process. 1. Create a new component from the left sidebar. 2. Create a new component from the Components Explorer. 3. From the Home tab, build an integration, create a new process. My favorite way to create a new process is to create it from the Components Explorer, because you can create a process in the required folder. Now let's open the demo process from the demo folder. To do so, just double-click on the process or open the component from the menu. On the left side of the process canvas, we have 6 buttons. Show Hide Steps button, the Options, Extensions, Arrange, Navigation, and Notes. We will focus on 4 buttons for now. 1. As the name indicates, you can hide and show the steps palette. That is useful if you have large processes and need some extra space for building your process. 2. Arrange. Use the Arrange button if you would like to quickly auto-arrange your steps. Before you can do that, you have to save your process. Here's a quick demonstration. Three. Navigation. If you click on this button, you will get a minimap on the process canvas. This is useful if you have extreme large processes that cannot be covered in one frame, so that you have to scroll down, up, or sideways to get your steps. Here's a quick demonstration. Four. Notes. If you need notes on your process canvas, you can use this button to create notes. Here's a quick demonstration. For now, we will remove all notes so that we can focus on the most important steps while building our process. Now we will have a look at the steps palette. The steps palette consists of three groups: connector steps, execute steps, and logic steps. Looking at the connector steps, we have three different connector types. 1. Application connectors. They provide connectivity to specific software applications. For example, Oracle Fusion, ERP system, SAP, or IFS. 2. Technology connectors. They provide connectivity to different technical resources. For example, databases, SFTP server, cloud storages, or local disk storages. 3. Event-driven connectors. They provide access to solutions such as Azure Service Bus or other messaging brokers. In this video, we will concentrate on the database V2 step. Execute steps can manipulate the document data. We have 13 execute steps. Map, set properties, message, agent, notify, program command, process call, process route, data process, find changes, add to cache, retrieve from cache, and remove from cache. In this episode, we will focus on the message and map step. We will go through all execute steps in the next episodes. Then we have the logic steps. Logic steps can control the flow of the documents through the process. We have the branch, the route, the cleans, decision, exception, stop, return documents, flow control, business rules, and the try-catch block. So there are 10 logic steps overall, and today we will focus on the branch step and the stop step. Of course, we will explain and perform exercises on all 10 logic steps in the next episodes. Now let's have a look at our process we built in the last episode. That one did not work, it failed the test. Today we will fix this. First, let's disconnect all steps from each other. Our first task for today is to implement a simplified ETL process. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Now, how can we extract the data? I would like to simplify the first step by just providing the data instead of extracting the data from any system, like an ERP system or database. As an example, I have an XML-based purchase order here. To save this file statically, I would like to use the message step. So let's load the XML file to the message step. Let's have a look how we can configure this message step. Okay. I think we can just copy the XML file here. Let's do it. Okay. Great. So In the next step, we would like to load the file into our map step and transform the XML file to another format. Let's say we would like to transform the XML file to JSON. Yeah, I think that is a good exercise. After that, I would like to additionally send the data to another message step. Yeah, just to validate or test how the branch step works. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's check our message step again. Still we have our message here. This is good. We can configure now our map step. I suggest we can have a display name here, XML to JSON, for example. And since there's no map, we create a brand new map. Rename the map to, for example, to XML to JSON. It's a map. Now we see 3 columns, the map source, then something in the middle, the map functions, and on the right side we have the map destination. And I think we have to do something on the left side. I think we have to create a source profile. Then we have the profile type. Okay. We select XML and create a new profile. Here again, we can give the profile a name. So for example, purchase order XML profile. Save it. Then what we would like to do is that XML profiles represent the structure of the various XML documents sent through Boomi processes, including all the elements, attributes, and other configuration information. Let's import a profile. Okay, XML file is good. Choose a file. Then I prepared a sample file. We can select this, choose this file, and go to the next. Profile is loaded, and with this we have our source structure created. We can save this profile for now, return back to the map. So we can select this. You see we have now a source structure, and we will do the same for the map destination and create the required JSON profile. Let's select choose. Profile type would be JSON, and here we also create new profile. Give it a name, purchase order JSON profile, for example. Save that. You see on the left side we have the JSON profiles in our demo folder. JSON profiles represent the structure of the various JSON documents and sent through Boomi process, including all the elements, attributes, and other configuration information. The JSON profile allows you to configure repeating data sets you can import from a file or one of the JSON template standards that Boomi provides. What would you like to do? I would like to import the profile. You can choose the sample file I prepared for you. Click next, and success, the profile is successfully loaded. So we also here have a structure for the map destination. You can save the profile now. Return back to the map. Here you see that we have the new JSON profile. So the next task is to map the fields, and I think this is just for demonstration, so we can just map some random fields to each other. So what can we do? I think there is a kind of helper, the Boomi suggest. Boomi suggest is I think it's a function that would help you to map some fields. Maybe it's a good idea just to try this out. It's just for demonstration anyways, so if the mapping does not make sense, it's not so bad. Yeah. So our main focus is that we have some kind of mapping, so that we get an output of this map. Means that the XML file is then transformed to JSON. So yeah, do some mappings here manually. For example, the ID to the buy ID, the issue date to the PO date, which makes no sense, I guess. But okay, let's try the Boomi suggest. So this tool is a kind of wizard that suggests mappings, and it has 15 medium confidence suggestions. That means that, yeah, you can have a look and check the suggestions of Boomi for the mapping. Go to next, finish, and here you see there are a couple of more of mappings we now have, represented by the solid lines from the source to the destination. We save the map. Yeah, and now I think we can return to the demo process. You see, we have the map here, and we can save the map. Maybe I will test this. I will break it down to a simple process, arrange that. And so we have the start date, the map, the message step, the map, and the stop. This is my recommendation anyways. If you have large process, or especially if you are in the beginning of process building, you can break down the implementation in smaller parts or multiple parts and test it, test the parts. So let's test this process. We have the start, the message, the map, and the stop step. So let's test it. Yeah, this didn't work. The test run for demo process you are attempting completed with the following errors: embedded message, can't parse argument number. Now you can go through the logs, the test results, and have a look at the message, can't parse argument number. So the test stops here. I think I have an idea why this is happening. Sometimes it's better to have the message in the variable. Let's try this. Let's just try this. So we cut the message and create a variable, a static one. Paste the message here. Okay, so that the message is now in this variable. And here you can enter your message using the curly brackets like this, one, and just click on OK. Save the process and run the process again. Test execution of demo process completed successfully. That's great. Good news. So we can have a look at here at the logs. And it's getting the parameter 1, for example, here with the whole message. We look into the step source data at this time, at the message step. It will tell you that in the view, there is no source. It makes sense, yeah, because here the source would be the start step, and the start step does not contain data or the document. If we look into or at the map step, yeah, and here you can see that the step source data, we have some data, and if we look to this, at it, there is our XML file. Also, you can download the original document if necessary, if you want to, for example, to do some troubleshooting. But for now, we can close the document viewer and check further the stop step. So I think the stop step should contain the JSON file, so the transformed file. And if we look at the step source data, so what's coming out of this map step, of the mapping, then it should be JSON. Yes, this looks like JSON. And you see here we have the result of the mapping of the transformation. Yeah. So the first part of our process now works. Great job. Next steps in episode 3. Complete our implementation, branch step, database connector, stop step. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next episode.